They called it love. You called it love. But love doesn't leave you questioning your sanity. Love doesn't make you beg for basic respect. What you experienced wasn't love. It was control dressed up in romantic language. If this sounds like I'm reading your diary, hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments. What's the hardest lie about love that you're still trying to unlearn? I read every single comment, and your truth might be the breakthrough someone else desperately needs today. Listen to me carefully. John Bowlby, the psychologist who revolutionized our understanding of attachment, discovered something profound. We're wired to seek connection, but we're also wired to survive. When someone uses that need for connection against us, our nervous system gets confused. It mistakes intensity for intimacy, chaos for chemistry, and control for care. This is why you kept going back. This is why you made excuses. This is why you convinced yourself that their jealousy was passion, their possessiveness was protection, their criticism was care. Your brain was trying to make sense of mixed signals by creating a story where their behavior meant love. You weren't loved by a narcissist. You were studied. They mapped your vulnerabilities like a military strategist maps enemy territory. They watched what made you light up, what made you shut down, what made you fight, what made you fold. Your kindness became their weapon. Your empathy became their ammunition. Every time you tried harder to earn their love, you were actually teaching them exactly how to control you more effectively. They didn't fall in love with you. They fell in love with your reactions to them. They didn't miss you when you were gone. They missed the supply you provided. They didn't want to fix the relationship. They wanted to maintain the power dynamic that made them feel superior. The rejection you felt wasn't personal. It was tactical. Narcissists don't reject people they can't control. They discard people who stop being useful. That moment when they withdrew their attention, when they gave you the silent treatment, when they made you feel invisible, that wasn't about your worth, that was about power. They were training you to perform for their approval like a circus animal performs for treats. And here's what no one tells you about narcissistic control. It works because it hijacks your nervous system. When someone alternates between overwhelming affection and devastating rejection, your brain releases the same chemicals as a gambling addiction. You become addicted not to them, but to the relief that comes when they finally show you kindness again. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's the most powerful form of psychological conditioning. Casinos use it. Abusers use it. It's why you felt like you were losing your mind. One day they'd tell you you're their soulmate. The next day they'd act like you didn't exist. One moment they'd promise you the world. The next moment they'd threaten to take it all away. Your nervous system couldn't predict when the next hit of validation would come, so it stayed in a constant state of hypervigilance. You were always scanning their face for mood changes, analyzing their texts for hidden meanings, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering their rage. You weren't living, you were surviving. But you know what Bowlby also discovered? The same attachment system that made you vulnerable to control is the same system that can heal you. Your need for connection isn't broken, it was exploited. Your capacity for love isn't a weakness, it was weaponized against you. The problem was never that you loved too much. The problem was that you accepted too little. You confused trauma bonding with deep connection. You mistook their need for you with their love for you. You thought their obsession with you was the same as their devotion to you. Here's the difference. Someone who loves you wants to see you grow. Someone who controls you wants to keep you small. Someone who loves you celebrates your independence. Someone who controls you punishes it. Someone who loves you builds your confidence. Someone who controls you systematically destroys it. The person who truly loves you will never make you question your reality. They won't gaslight you into thinking your feelings are wrong, your memories are false, or your needs are too much. Real love stabilizes your nervous system, it doesn't hijack it. Real love makes you feel more like yourself, not less. Here's the truth they never wanted you to discover. You don't need their validation to prove you're worthy of love. You don't need their approval to confirm your reality. You don't need their presence to feel complete. The very fact that you survived their control proves you're stronger than they ever were. Stop calling it love. Call it what it was, emotional terrorism. Stop blaming yourself for staying. Start honoring yourself for surviving. Stop asking why they couldn't love you. Start asking why you're still willing to settle for control instead of connection, and stop romanticizing the pain they caused you. Stop telling yourself that the intensity meant it was real. Stop believing that because it hurt so much, it must have been love. Pain is not proof of love. Chaos is not proof of passion. Obsession is not proof of devotion. You know what's proof of love? Consistency, respect, safety, the ability to be yourself without fear of punishment, the freedom to have boundaries without retaliation, the security of knowing that someone's feelings for you don't depend on how well you perform for them. The relationship that broke you also broke the spell. You now know the difference between someone who loves you and someone who needs you, between someone who sees you and someone who uses you, between someone who accepts your boundaries and someone who violates them. You weren't rejected by love. You were rescued from a counterfeit that was slowly destroying your soul. The emptiness you feel isn't because you lost something real. It's because you finally stopped accepting something fake. That hollowness in your chest, that's not the absence of love. That's the absence of chaos. Your nervous system is finally allowed to rest. The constant state of fight or flight is over. The hypervigilance is ending. Of course it feels strange. You've been living in survival mode for so long that peace feels foreign. The withdrawal you're experiencing is real. Just like coming off any addiction, your brain is craving the neurochemical hit that came from their intermittent reinforcement. But don't mistake that craving for love. Don't mistake that emptiness for loss. You're not mourning a relationship, you're detoxing from abuse. Your healing begins the moment you stop trying to understand them and start choosing to understand yourself. Stop asking what you could have done differently. Start asking what you deserve differently. Why did you accept breadcrumbs when you deserved a feast? Why did you beg for basic respect when you deserved unwavering honor? Why did you chase someone who was running away from you when you deserved someone who chooses you every single day? The answers to these questions aren't about your worth. They're about your wounds. Somewhere along the way, you learned that love was something you had to earn, not something you deserved. You learned that your value was conditional, not inherent. You learned that being chosen was rare, not a given. But here's what you need to know. The person who truly sees your worth will never make you question it. They won't love you despite your flaws. They'll love you including them. They won't try to fix you. They'll support your own journey of growth. They won't complete you. They'll complement the wholeness you already possess. The love you're looking for isn't behind you with someone who controlled you. It's ahead of you, waiting for the person brave enough to choose connection over control, reality over fantasy, dignity over desperation. You were never loved by a narcissist, but you can love yourself enough to never accept that counterfeit again.